The film begins in the city of Madrid, where the young Hona is introduced, having fun with her brother. They are also watched by their father, who takes some photos. The moment is interrupted when their mother appears, asking them to hurry for the consecration. During a mass, some people dig in an area of the church and find an old box. When they open it, they find a demon carved in wood, leaving them frightened. After this, the children and a teenager begin to feel and see strange things inside the church. All of them have something in common. They begin to see malevolent entities. Without understanding what is happening, they become increasingly affected by the presence of this evil. During a church party, the girls decide to play a prank on a classmate. They say that there is a tag on her dress, causing the girl to go to the bathroom. There, while trying to cut the tag with scissors, she begins to act strangely and suddenly places the scissors on her own tongue and cuts it. Hona, along with her brother, witnesses everything. Soon after, the young girl returns to the hall, drawing everyone's attention, who become frightened by her behavior. Suddenly, she throws herself out the window and ends up taking a man with her, deeply marking Hona's childhood. Some years later, some police officers arrive at the same church from the beginning. They go to Father Ciro, who refuses to speak at that moment and asks them to return the next day. The officers insist, saying they have a warrant to access the sacristy, leaving the priest with no choice. Reluctantly, Ciro leads them to the entrance and grabs a knife before they go down. Ciro observes the place in terror, while the woman looks for the main circuit breaker. While handling the installation, she feels a chill as she is touched by a ghostly hand. After turning off the lights, she contacts her staff to continue the work. While speaking with Ciro, who remains frightened, a terrifying scream echoes behind them. When they turn around, they come face to face with a demonic creature, which attacks them violently. After seeing the officers being killed, the woman tries to escape, but the doors close. The entity approaches and kills her quickly, while Ciro takes his own life. At the same time, Father Angel arrives at a convent seeking help. He is received by the Mother Superior, who informs him that Hona is busy. Angel insists that the matter is urgent and that he needs to speak with her. The mother then asks him to sleep there so he can speak with Hona in the morning. During the night, Angel is taken to his room by the novice Mara. She warns him not to be frightened by what he hears, as he will not be alone in the convent. Intrigued, he asks about it, but is interrupted by a scream, and Mara says it is just Miguel and leaves. Later, Angel is lying down when he feels he is being watched. Frightened, he turns on the lights and observes the room, but soon returns to sleep. In the morning, Angel approaches Hona, who now works as a sculpture restorer. He introduces himself and says he came from Madrid with a job for her, but Hona reacts in a hostile manner, saying she already knows who he is and that he will have to wait because she is busy. Hona mentions Rocco, which catches her attention, and then explains that the work is at the Church of Saint Simeon. Hona asks what he knows about the place, and he replies that it is one of the oldest churches in the city. She comments that there are many terrible legends about the church, and states that she needs objective answers, since she is a specialist in rationalist architecture, unlike what the place represents. Even so, she refuses to help, until Angel reveals that 4 people died there, including the priest, and upon hearing this, Hona is shocked to discover Ciro's death. Later, Hona decides to help, and while she is packing her things, Mara appears asking to go along, saying she can be useful, but Hona refuses, stating that she has no idea what exists in that church. After insisting a lot, Hona ends up giving in and takes the novice, and together they go to meet Angel. Before leaving, the priest asks what her problem is with the place, and Hona reveals that she got married in that church, which surprises him. Later, the group meets Rocco, who asks if she knows why she was called, and Hona says no and asks him to explain. He says that a week earlier, they opened the crypt of Saint Simeon because of work by the electric company, and now they need to prove that no one should enter there without authorization. Hona asks why he called her, and Rocco replies that she is the only one who truly understands what is in that church. Rocco says that Hona is the ideal person to lead the secret mission. He asks her to find the seal of Saint Simeon stylites, since Coro was sure it existed. He also asks for proof that the seal is beneath the church so he can open an administrative process. If they find nothing, the city hall will begin construction and they will lose control of the site. Next, Rocco shows a model that Ciro secretly built, raising questions. He explains that Ciro wanted to prove that Saint Simeon is a gateway to the underworld, stating that the church is like an iceberg, being much larger below the surface. He says that Father Kiro left a letter and hands it to Hona. Finally, Rocco asks them to call Father Kuana, who is happy to see Hona. He quickly hugs her, saying he regrets involving her in this but that it was necessary. In the library, Hona and Mara research the history of the Church of St. Simeon Stylites. They analyze old documents and religious records to understand the seal and what is hidden in the place. During the search, Hona meets Esther again, an old school friend who works there. Esther begins to help her with doubts and with the archives. Later, Mara requests maps of the bombing of Madrid, and Esther goes to get them. While Mara returns to continue studying, she notices a nun dressed in white and becomes extremely frightened. The next day, Juana and Angel stop at an antique shop to pick up a special camera capable of capturing details that cannot be seen with the naked eye. After getting the equipment, they go to meet the others and continue the investigation. Mara discovers that the region of the Church of St. Simeon Stylites is surrounded by several cemeteries, some very old and linked to dark stories about children buried there. Among the files, she finds a photo that Quina recognizes. He reveals that they were his friends, including Father Ciro, and that the image was taken when they found the statue in the crypt. Upon analyzing the photo, he notices that he is the only one still alive, and laments it. A strange man enters the restaurant with a box and approaches the group, saying they are being watched and that they already know they are there. Then he sees an entity over Juana, becomes frightened and leaves. Shortly after, they hear a noise outside and discover that the man was run over. Meanwhile, Quina opens the box he was carrying, and everyone is shocked to find a creature that looks like a baby. Later, Juana notices Mara quiet and asks if she regrets coming. Mara says no and comments about her husband. Juana confirms that Saulo took his own life and decides to explain what happened. She says that he was possessed by a demon and that even after several attempts of exorcism with Father Quina and Rocco, nothing worked. Over time, the situation worsened until one day, Juana found him after he had ingested poison. She tried to help him, but he asked to die in peace, leaving her with no options. She also tells about the tragedy she experienced with her brother Miguel when he was young. At first, he seemed to suffer from night terrors and could not sleep, but over time they realized it was not something common. Miguel began to appear in different places at the same time, as if he were in two places simultaneously, something no one could explain. This caused the situation to spiral out of control and become increasingly frightening. In tears, Juana lies down remembering everything she went through, while Mara tries to comfort her. The team gathers in the morning and returns to the cursed church. Juana says the place is terrifying, and Angel agrees that it is an affront to God. They descend to the sacristy, and Quina comments that Ciro developed obsessive theories about the church. They find a tomb, but Quina states it is false, since no one was ever buried there. With Juana's help, he pushes the slab and says someone tried to hide a passage. Before going down, he asks everyone to stay together, as it is the only way to survive. The group proceeds through the tunnels until they find marks of phosphorescent paint on the walls. Juana asks Angel to record everything to send to Rocco. She comments that this paint was only created in 1908, indicating it is not ancient. As they continue, Juana lags behind. The entity approaches her, whispers in her ear, and causes the lamp to explode. The group returns to check if she is okay, and continues forward. Further ahead, they find burials, which leaves Angel in shock, since they are about 200 meters deep. Angel begins to record, and Juana asks Mara to collect some evidence to use as proof. While Mara takes a photo of Juana with the creatures, one of them reacts to Angel's flashlight, frightening him. Quina states that those things are not burials but demons. Next, they see a strange drawing on the cave ceiling. Angel says they need to find the seal quickly and leave. Quina states that Ciro was right, and that the place was abandoned by God. At that moment, they hear a noise and go to investigate. When they arrive, they discover that the seal is real and celebrate its existence. Angel tries to read the inscriptions, but they are in an ancient language. Mara suggests taking the object to continue the investigation, but Hona is against it. After insisting, Mara convinces Hona, and when they remove the seal, everyone feels something strange and the place begins to shake. Angel says they have released evil, and everyone starts running. Later, they meet with Rocco, who is satisfied with the discovery and says Ciro was right. Hona states that the seal exists and demands that the church be closed for being cursed. Quina agrees, but Rocco reveals his plans and says Quina's mission is over and that he will be transferred from the Church of St. Simeon Stylites. Hona asks what will happen now, and Rocco orders everyone out, saying he needs to speak with his nephew alone. Disappointed, Quina prepares to leave and asks God to have mercy on Rocco's soul. Rocco says the world is full of confusion and that people suffer without realizing it. He claims that what exists beneath the church will make everyone awaken and rediscover God. Angel responds that there is no miracle there, but Rocco says that if they need to see to believe, they will make everyone see, even if sacrifice is required. Angel disagrees and says it will kill people. Rocco insists that people need to regain faith and questions Angel's relationship with Hona, but Angel remains silent. Rocco then says he is ill and has little time left, so he does not care about the consequences. Angel reminds him that he was once an example and warns that he is about to cause a tragedy, believing he is serving God. Later, Angel leaves the nuns at the convent and calls Hona to talk. He says he regrets the situation and claims he did not know this would happen. Angel responds that she trusted him and leaves. Mara and Hona return to routine at the convent, but Hona cannot forget what happened. Rocco is in his office drinking tea when he drops the cup. As he bends down to pick it up, he sees Miguel in front of him. Miguel says that it is only the beginning and that soon he will be in a wheelchair and then will not be able to speak. Rocco believes it is a hallucination, but Miguel asks him to touch him to prove he is real. Rocco asks how he is there if he sent him to the convent, and Miguel replies that he is in both places at the same time. The phone rings and Rocco answers the Mother Superior. He says Miguel is with him, but the mother replies that he is in front of her, levitating. Rocco insists that his faith is strong, while Miguel confronts him, saying that if it were true, he would not use the dead to deceive the living. Rocco replies that fear is necessary for faith. Miguel threatens him, saying that his punishment will come, and points to the spotlight before disappearing. Meanwhile, Quina arrives at the Church of St. Simeon Stylites with a gasoline can to burn it down. He says a prayer before starting, and then begins to hear voices. Furious, he tells them to get out of his head and starts spreading gasoline around the place. At the same time, Rocco watches the recordings when he notices a demon approaching him in the footage. He realizes it is becoming real and desperately tries to turn off the equipment but fails, and the demon emerges from the recording and attacks him. Meanwhile, Quina is about to light the fire when he is surprised by a demon. Miguel is also captured by the white nun and taken elsewhere. Hona panics upon realizing her brother is missing, and Mara tries to calm her. Hona states that they took Miguel to the church and asks for help to rescue him. Later, she arrives at the church and finds several people there, including Angel. He informs her that Quina and Rocco are dead and that they must act quickly to stop those creatures. Hona suggests entering the place, but Mara says the police will not allow entry. Angel then proposes using the sewer as a passage, showing an image on his phone and explaining that Ciro had discovered that entrance before and it could be used now. With that, they go to the library, where Hona demands the help Esther had promised and asks for the sewer maps of the church. Esther agrees to help and locates the file, stating that it is the closest map to the image shown. She also warns that the place was closed after a bomb was found. The group then finds the entrance and quickly descends through the tunnels. On the way, Mara makes Hona stop upon identifying a bomb ahead. After analyzing it, they conclude that the explosive is not active and move on. Soon after, they find the passage to the demon's lair, and Hona decides to go down alone. While Angel helps secure her equipment, The two almost kiss but are interrupted by strange sounds from the place. With his help, Hona descends to the lower level and begins to investigate, hearing several voices around her. Suddenly, she is attacked by demons and almost captured but manages to free herself. Next, Solo's spirit appears to confront her. Hona states that it is not her husband as he is dead and demands that her brother be released. However, the demon replies that Miguel will never leave and will remain with them. The white nun also appears and takes control again, making Solo retreat before Hona. Even so, Hona continues searching for her brother until she finally finds him, but realizes he is completely under the entity's control. The demon then reveals the souls it has captured over time, including people close to Hona, leaving her in shock and despair. With no way out, she begins to recite a biblical text aloud, trying to resist the influence of evil, and for a brief moment, Quenya regains consciousness within the situation, saying he will always be with her, and that faith can be enough to overcome even death. Hona, overcome by fear, says she does not know if she can continue, and he asks her to remember the song she heard when she was younger, something tied to her faith and past. The white nun regains control of Quenya's body, but Hona begins to sing anyway, directing the song to her brother. Gradually, Miguel begins to be freed from possession and returns to normal, making Hona emotional upon seeing him well again. Miguel then says she needs to leave and live for both of them, as he will remain there to keep the monsters trapped, explaining that he has spent enough time down there and learned how to deal with those entities. He also reveals that the white nun does not belong to that world, but that he knows how to send her away. Even reluctant and in tears, Hona accepts the decision, hugs her brother tightly, and says goodbye. The group manages to leave the place quickly, and soon after the entire church is destroyed. The next day, a new person in charge of the church accepts the gas leak version as the official explanation and decides to sell the property, thanking for the resolution of the situation. In the end, Hona and Angel abandon their duties and choose to stay together, ending the story.